T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Movies and Beyond. Once again, I am Michael, and today, Sunday. You know what Sunday is? Matt's here with me as well. How you doing, Matt?
Doing great, Michael. Doing great. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. You excited to rank some movies tonight?
I'm actually really excited about this one. I prepared. I feel prepared. I'm ready, and it interests me because so much time goes by, and you don't really there's movies you forget about, and you start doing your research, and oh yeah, there's that. And like we talked about a little bit backstage, these lists can change, but I feel confident. I feel confident that my list is pretty solid, and I'm ready to mix it up with you, my friend. So
I feel like my head was about to pop a couple times trying to do this, and I was texting Matt, let everybody know I'm texting Matt, like, you sure you don't want to do 15? I could do 20. We could do 25. I'm telling you, there are so many good movies that came out, horror movies that came out in the last 15 years. And I don't know if you noticed, Matt, when you were doing your research, did you find that some years were like bangers for horror movies, and then other years you were just like, well, there wasn't shit in this year. This year was terrible.
Absolutely. And that to me, that's a trend with horror. That's a trend. And man, I hope for the future we're in for some bangers.
I'll tell you what, 2020 was a shit year. I didn't find anything for the 2020. Spoiler alert for my list.
I think I'm right there with you.
It was like, well, there was COVID, and things got pushed back,
but I got a few 21s in there.
Yeah, they do. And another thing too is I've found a lot of movies that I didn't know about and have never seen before, and create a little list of things I may want to see, whether they're appropriate movies or not. It was fun going through the last 15 years worth of horror and seeing things that were that I either knew about or I didn't know about.
Michael, I wish I could, but we both have busy schedules. You can't see them all, man. You just can't.
There's a few of them that I don't know how I missed, man. And I mean, not saying that they were advertised like at all whatsoever. They'd have like 1 star on IMDb and like 1 star on the other couple sites I was looking at. But it's like, you know what? That looks like a movie I made. Yeah. Well, we'll stop babbling. Let's say what's up to people in the chat, Matt. Let's see who's here with us tonight. Russell's here, and he says, what's up, everyone? I smashed that like button before I came in this awesome stream. And chat, happy Sunday, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. What's up, Russell?
Russell, how are you, buddy?
Kelsey and Justin are here once again. They're saying, hello, Michael and Matt. What's going on, guys?
Justin, Kelsey, great to see you guys. Great to see you.
Russell is saying, hi, Michael and Matt. Hope you all are doing good on this wonderful Sunday. Russell, I am doing fantastic. Thank you for asking, sir.
Yeah, Russell, I hope you're doing fantastic, man. Right back at you, brother. I'm doing great.
Well, Bipolar is here, and she is saying, hey, everyone, I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Hope you had fantastic weekends. I had a pretty good weekend.
No complaints here. No complaints here. Great weekend. Same to you, Polar. Hope you're doing well.
Katie from Popping the Popcorn is here saying hi to everyone. Hi, Katie. How you doing?
Hello, Katie.
Allison is in the chat saying hello, everyone. Hey, Allison.
Good to see you, Allison. Good to see you.
And James has entered the chat. James is saying hi, Michael and Matt. Great to see you two again. What's up, James? How's it going, buddy?
Always good to see you, James. Always good to see you, my friend.
Teresa Stevens is here saying hello, everyone. Hello, Teresa.
Hello, mother. Hello. Good to see you. It's been 5 minutes, I think. Great to see you.
5 whole minutes. That's great. All right. Well, I think that we're caught up with the chat and all our great people that are here to see us. I love that you guys are here. I found something out the other day, and I wanted to get all of your opinions on this because it's not something that we commonly see in horror. Now, I didn't really pull this up too well, but I want to show you guys just this little thing that I found this weekend. I want to be able to make sure that you guys can see it. It is actually on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, Rotten Tomatoes is not something that I usually trust too much because it's always something I want to see, especially, when the critics review something. I take that with a grain of salt. Most times I like to go by the audience score. That's a little more fair of a, trying to judge where something is. But something that I did find right here that I wanted to show you guys, Evil Dead Rise. Look at that score that it's getting from critics. Now, there's only been 19 people that have seen it, but if you notice, it's 100%. Now, when have we seen a horror movie debut at 100% from Rotten Tomatoes?
And keyword horror, man. That's impressive for horror, man. That's great. That's awesome.
That is freaking crazy. So, with us seeing that that's 100%, what do you think about that, man? What do you think that we're in for a really
It's got
dope,
it has my attention.
Evil Dead movie? Like, really?
Right? And of all things, right. Just like in an Evil Dead movie, like I would understand more like if you're talking The Conjuring or Halloween or something like that. But yeah, an Evil Dead, to me that's a true horror fan's film right there, Evil Dead. So yeah. When's that come out?
I want to say it comes out next month. I'll have to get a date on that. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's not that far away. And I mean, just to see that score, it gives me hope that there's a really good, I like Evil Dead. Don't get me wrong. Evil Dead's awesome. I loved Evil Dead 2013. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I did see the trailer when this came out. I'm like, yeah, man, that looks pretty good. But did I think that it was going to drop 100 on Rotten Tomatoes? I mean, for a horror movie, you guys. And granted, I don't want us to get ahead of ourselves. It is only reviewed by 19 people at the moment. But to get 19 solid, this is fresh. I mean, wow.
I know what I mean? Some big jackets, pre-buy our snacks and sneak those bitches into a cheap theater and we go check that out. Like the old days when you came in looking like twice your size because you've got your Kit Kats in there, because mom and dad were not paying that stupid, ridiculous price for popcorn and all that. But yeah, it has me excited, man. For sure.
Have you seen the trailer for it? Have you watched the trailer for it?
No.
You need to check that out. I mean, it doesn't look. I mean, when I watched it, I was like, yeah, man, this looks pretty cool, but it didn't jump out at me as being like, holy shit, this is going to be 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. You know what I mean? And
that's okay. I hope it didn't show too much because, I don't like that when trailers, you feel like you've already seen half the movie is it pretty short and simple?
That's about 2 minutes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I mean, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. I've seen it 2 minutes be fine. And I've seen 2 minutes of Halloween Kills. You know what I mean? And it just really depends
Yeah.
you know, on how you spend those 2 minutes and what you're showing, you know, like,
Kills showed way too much. If you ask
well,
me.
yeah, kills did, 18 did. You knew that one girl was going to die in 18. We talked about that last night when we were catching
I
up.
would have loved to be in a theater and been totally blindsided about the whole burning coming out of the
Yeah.
house and all that. I would have loved that.
Yeah.
It was still cool. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, could you imagine?
right? No,
Could you imagine that?
it would have been killer.
Allison is saying the new Evil Dead looks awesome. I can't wait to check it out. I can't wait to check it out either. You know, that's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see how it goes. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but it was definitely worth something to. It was definitely worth mentioning to you guys. You know, it's just something you never see.
No, you don't.
Of course, Kelsey and Justin coming through with April 21st. So
Nice.
they gave us the date on that one. Darkroom Secrets is saying, I can't wait to see this one. You know, I can't.
Dark Room Secrets. Great to see you guys back on here. Great to see you guys.
James is saying that's rare for Rotten Tomatoes. It is rare.
I actually can't think of a horror film that's gotten 100 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Can't think of a film that's gotten 100 Rotten Tomatoes. You know, like you really gotta really think about that. Russell is saying never 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not. It's not, man. Like that's freaking crazy. Teresa saying, me too, Allison. How cool is that? I can't wait to see it.
Lebanon
100
Theater, baby. $5.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes is a big first for me, especially on a horror film. Wow. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Polar is saying, or the firefighter scene. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we were talking about. Like,
Absolutely.
seriously.
Polar.
Yeah. James is saying, I hate spoilers. That's like giving that's like giving missile codes away. Yeah, it's definitely not, you know, I'm not big on spoilers myself, and especially if I haven't seen it, it's kind of annoying, but you know. But I'm about ready to rank some movies. You ready to rank some movies, Matt?
I am.
All right. Well, I'm going to drop us out of here. We're going to roll that intro and then we're going to get started. So we will see you guys in just a minute. And here we go.
I prayed that he would burn in hell, but in my heart, hell.
Then I will avenge his death.
Hello, Sydney. Are you
Don't you
The Force will be with you. Always.
I wish I had you all alone, just the two of us.
And what's up, everybody? We're back. We had a few comments while we were gone. I will go through those, and then Matt, we'll get started on this list. Let's talk about a little bit about the time frame and stuff like that. But Russell Dorsey is saying, "I'm looking forward to Evil Dead Rise. I am too, especially now. I was before a little bit, and now I'm more intrigued. But could that be fancy marketing? To get people more intrigued to see it, or is it really that good? I can't wait to find out." Darkroom Secrets is saying, "I don't ever follow Rotten Tomatoes anyways, but that's awesome. I'm the same way. Like I'll look at the audience score more than I will the critics, because the critics are usually bashing, especially horror movies. They don't really say too many good things about it, and it's very rare that they do." Polar's excited. Let's go. Russell, here we go. And Teresa is saying, "Never get tired of that intro. I'd love to know everyone's favorite clip. Mine is Art puffing out his chest. Just so creepy." Teresa, I would also like to know everyone's favorite clip.
Yeah, I would
Let me
too.
know.
That's interesting.
Definitely
Very cool.
interesting. I know the Babadook got 98%. It was close.
Wow. Okay.
James is loving the intro. Thank you, James. Appreciate it, buddy. Russell is saying, "Mine is Art messing with the customer with
That's
the
good
horn."
too. That's good too.
I really have to think about what my favorite clip is. Matt, do you have a favorite clip off the top of your head?
No, I was just thinking the same. I've got to, yeah.
I really have to think about
I
that.
got to pay a little more attention. I mean, as far as
He said, Matt's like, "I've never seen that damn thing. I've heard the music. I've never
no,
really
as
seen it."
far as picking my favorite, I gotta pay a little more attention. But I want to say something real quick. I heard a rumor. Now it's a rumor, but they're talking. There's a possibility that the final girl from Terrifier 2 could possibly be filling the shoes of, Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis. So I actually kind of like the idea. Someone's got to do it eventually, right? And I like that girl. I don't know her name. If anybody does, please throw that out there.
Justin and Kelsey will drop that name
They
here in a
will.
second.
They
You
will.
already
That's
know.
kind of who I was talking to.
You already know they're going to drop that name.
But I heard that, and it'll be interesting if that comes to light or not. But somebody's got to replace her. She can't do it forever.
So, is it supposed to be another Laurie Strode? Like, what were you hearing here?
It was really rough, Michael. It's from our good buddy Tim that comes in quite a bit. You've spoke with Tim, and he's not really one to BS. He said it's just a rumor he's heard, but he just mentioned that that's it. They could possibly be looking at her to be the next Laurie Strode. So
I suppose that is the person that you were talking about right there on the screen via Kelsey and Justin. Is it Lauren Lavira?
Okay. Yeah, I like her. I think she's got great screen presence, and I'm more. I haven't seen her enough to really know her range, how versatile she is, and all that. But she's got my interest.
Interesting.
And I'm ready to see that new chapter, a new Laurie Strode, even a new Michael. Or they can absolutely keep James. He was awesome. But I'm just ready to see the next, where they go with that. So,
we're like 5 months out, 5 months after Halloween ends. You know what I mean? Like it's been 5 months. Probably less than that, just a little less than that. And you can definitely tell that people definitely want more.
I was ready about midway through watching Halloween Ends. Like, okay, somebody's got this.
On to the next one,
Somebody
please.
does stepping up. Let's change
On
this,
to the
right?
next one. Yeah. But yeah, so little explanation about what we're doing tonight, in case I wasn't too clear on the thumbnail. But we're doing the last 15 years. We're looking back, from this year up to 15 years ago, which I believe was that 2009? That
I went from 2008 to current. Am I a couple months off or something? I'm not sure, but so my daughter's 14. She was born in 2008, so
we're doing this Ohio math, y'all. So you know what I mean.
she'll be
Get
15 next month. So yeah, I was doing from '08 on.
That's fine. I think I went from '09, but it really doesn't matter. That'll work out. All right, man. So, thus doing the back and forth. I know that our last ranking video, I went first. So I choose not to go first this time. And I will let you go first, and we will start with number 10. God, I wish we were starting with 36, but we are starting with number 10 of our list here.
And I got the green light here, huh?
Green light, number 10, Matt from Mad
All
Max
right.
Mask.
So my number 10 is going to The Nun.
Whoa, all right. The Nun.
The Nun. And I know this one floors you, Michael, as far as...
Don't get me wrong. I love The Nun, the character.
Well, no, and I even understand why it floors you that I do like it so much, because I like those bangers and those fast-paced.
Slow.
It is nothing like that, and I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
So, but man, I loved the story, and absolutely loved when, because I had no idea that there were no nuns, in this, what do you call that? A covenant?
I don't know. I have no idea.
So coven is witches. But, okay. So someone will correct me there.
The very religious two of us.
I had no idea that was just all, basically mind tricks from the demon, the nun. And I just thought it was so badass. And like I've mentioned before, I love just badass looking characters. I do.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, the Nun is the most badass character that's come out since the big, the big dogs, since the Jasons, the Michael. Well, that's Frankie. But I've got her right over here. Just picked up a nice bust. Her eyes light up and stuff. But just love it. And yeah, it's a slow burn, but it's one I love. I love Frenchie. I love the main actress there that was also in American Horror Story. Justin Kelsey, get on that for us. But yeah, man, I dig it.
We don't know anyone's names.
And I'm with a lot of people too. Like Nun 2 is getting ready to come out. And I do absolutely hope there's a little bit more Nun for us, for sure. And a little bit more, excitement, maybe even a little faster paced. But, they were telling a story, they were building it up. And as far as I'm concerned, they nailed it. So I enjoy The Nun. It's my number 10, buddy.
All right. It's freaking awesome. Surprisingly, I'm going to piggyback off of you for my number 10 to an extent.
Okay.
And my number 10 is going to be The Conjuring 2, which was the introduction to Valak, the nun. You know what I mean? This is the first time
Michael.
we got to see Bonnie Aarons in all of her fucking glory as the nun, and she played Valak. Dude, the thing that sticks out to me the most about The Conjuring 2 is the scene where she's behind the painting
I know what you're gonna say.
comes flying forward. Look, man, I absolutely love The Conjuring 2. And I know The Conjuring 2 does get some hate. It does. But, I mean, we're talking about our rankings here of the movies that, have rewatch value for us. Like there are far better movies that are in my top 10 list. Far better made, better dialogue, but they just don't have that rewatchability for me. When I look at my list of movies, I'm not grabbing those as much as I am grabbing The Conjuring 2. You know what I mean? It's something I could throw in. It's something that I really like. There's so many good things about this movie. From the relationship between Ed and Lorraine, that really starts to you start to see deeper into their relationship. And one of the things that always stuck out to me was when he's playing that Elvis song and she's just standing there looking at him. You can really see how well they play those characters, and you can just see the feelings that these two characters have towards each other, and the love that they have that helps them fight things like Valak. You know what I mean? And some of it was a little, I really didn't care about the crooked man angle of that movie too much. I just didn't. But then there were a lot of badass parts too. You know what I mean? That little
I
tent
do.
that he had in the hallway. And he pushes a little car in there and it comes flying. Things like that are just make me like, oh shit. You know what I mean? The things that when I'm in the theater, that I'm just kind of leaning back on, like, oh, what's going on here?
And even out of nowhere, the little girl, Mom, who's that? And then boom,
yeah,
right there in the hallway. It's like, yeah, who is that? Like, that was awesome. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Michael. I love
so many good things, and it is funny that both of us had, in one way or another, The Nun as our number 10.
Right.
But yeah, it's just, God, man, it's freaking. Russell is saying The Nun creeped me out for being an origin story. It was a creepy origin story. I will give it that. And one thing that I really liked about, the movie The Nun,
atmosphere.
Well, yeah, it did. But when the guy gets buried, you know what I mean? Like he's getting pushed back, he falls into the grave, and then all of a sudden he's buried. And if they don't have those bells, like he's done for. There's just some creepy moments in that movie. It was definitely good. Polar's coming through and saying convent, and that is
Thank
right.
you.
It is a convent.
Thank you, Polar. That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
Kelsey and Justin saying a group of nuns is called. I can't even say that word. Is it
super flutty?
Super fluty? I'm not saying that right. I'm not even going to try to say it whatsoever. But thank you for that.
I'm gonna go with covenant.
Convent.
Jeez,
Yeah.
Pete's, Matt.
It is convent.
Convent. Got it.
It's gonna be like that covenant was crazy.
Thank you,
Like, oh my
James. Thank you.
I say the nun bus is bad to the bone. That's freaking awesome. All right, Matt. So we both decided to go with Valak in one way or another for our number 10. What do you have for number 9?
So for number 9, I've got a film that is just smashing records right now. It's Terrifier.
Oh, the original.
I'm going with the original Terrifier.
Okay.
And let me tell you, what these guys are doing is just unreal. As far as when you look at what they pay to make these films and the profit they're receiving, it's unbelievable. Like, kudos to these guys, man. It's incredible. And it blows my mind. It really does. The popularity of, now I like it. I mean, obviously it just made number 9, you know, and we're talking 15 years. That's a lot of time that's a lot of years of horror movies. So number 9 is a solid film if you ask me. But the popularity, because I would, you watch Terrifier, and if you go talk to your buddy, hey man, that is a true legit horror fan, and you say, hey, have you seen Terrifier? And he says, yeah, most likely he's gonna love it. Now I'm talking about a true horror fan. Mm-hmm. But it blows my mind. Like I wouldn't see it gaining the popularity of like an It or a Halloween, because it's got that true gritty underground,
it's dirty
vibe to it. It's dirty, man. It is. So it does. It blows my mind that it's as popular as it is. And you've seen it, Michael. Sit at the booth with me. It's everybody and their brothers coming in, just googly eyed over Terrifier. It can be a 8-year-old girl walks in. You got Terrifier? Is
Wow,
that
it's like,
art?
why
It's
do you know what that is, little
yeah,
girl?
how do you know who that is? To the guy that's 50 years old and loves it, but it's impressive. It's impressive, to say the least. But as far as the film goes, it's a solid film, and
Yeah.
it's my style. I like gritty. The gore for me is like kind of take it or leave it. It doesn't bother me. I'm not like I don't search for gore. But I love art, and he has just like we've spoken before about art. He doesn't say a single word, but he says 100 things with his movements, his character, and he has gotten himself into that role like nobody I've ever seen. It's just amazing. If you watch his performance alone, it's impressive. But as far as I'm concerned, they could not have gotten a better person to play art in David Howard Thornton. But fun film, gritty, down to the point. It's unique, it's different, and let's face it, we now have a clown that's going to rival Pennywise for sure, and that's just cool. But love Terrifier, excited what they're doing, excited to see what they're going to do in the future. Terrifier is my number 9, my friend.
All right. Right. Number 9 for me. So I had to get my boy in here, especially rewatch. And, there's 2 scenes in particular that I can't decide which one is my favorite. But I'm bringing Michael into the fold, bro. Number 9, I'm going Halloween Kills. I am throwing Halloween Kills in at number 9 for me.
Okay.
Now, granted, there are a lot of problems with this movie. And like I said prior to that, there aren't, with my list, it's not going to be all the best made films with all the best dialogue. Halloween Kills is something that I can throw in any time and watch it, just for the simple fact that flashback scene is freaking fire. It is freaking unbelievable. That kid playing Michael in that, man, I hope that he's the next Michael Myers, and they go back a little bit in time to bring, a little bit of spunk back into Michael from Halloween Ends. And we get some energy like this kid had. And do I even need to mention the firefighter scene again? I believe that's the second time on this stream that we've talked about it. Look, man, that is the most brutal Michael that I've ever seen in anything ever. He
Hands
comes
down.
out of there freaking fired up. You know what I mean? Just ready to go, man. And that really stuck with me. Now, granted, we had some slow parts, and we had, Evil Dies Tonight, and some of the things, I wasn't really feeling, but it had a lot of things in it too that I thought was really cool. Whether you're a fan of Season of the Witch or not, it had Season of the Witch references where it had the masks on the kids, and then Michael ended up taking them and putting them on, the dead people in the park. That was a little throwback to that. And just the overall, I just had a great time with it. When Michael fights Haddonfield out on the street, you ever wonder what it's like if Michael gets jumped? Well, guess what? You're going to find out. You know what I mean? Halloween Kills gave us that. And James Jude Courtney, dude. I mean, come on. I mean, I would not. If someone told me he was the best Michael Myers, I would not have any argument for them whatsoever. The way he carried Michael, to me, he brought Michael back. Michael had been gone for a long time for me. And when I saw James Jude Courtney as the Shape, I was like, oh shit. Hey, this is they're not playing around this time. You know what I mean? From his mannerisms, the way that he was walking around, it was just like, wow, man. I mean,
It's stupid good how he got
it
down.
is.
It really is. It's like,
but granted, you get the hospital scene, where the guy's running around. I really don't care about that. I mean, I could really pretty much fast forward that scene, and it really wouldn't impact, the movie, too much. Other than, people are crazy, and they're willing to follow that mob mentality, to one person thinks it's him. And it's just like, I can push those to the side and just say, you know what, that's my number 9. Like it's It's not at the top of the list, but man, anytime anybody wants to watch Halloween Kills, I'm down. Throw in Halloween Kills. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be, my number 9.
Right on, Michael. I love it, man. I love it. So we go on to number 8.
Let's go ahead and go to number 8.
Halloween Kills.
Oh shit.
Halloween Kills.
Well, we have not heard anything about this film yet tonight.
No.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm
You
gonna-
have
I'm
the
gonna
floor.
Enlighten you, Michael.
What is this movie,
So
Halloween
there's
Kills?
a firefighter scene in there that you might.
Oh,
wanna
is
check
there,
out.
is there a bad fire?
But
Yeah,
yeah, he
yeah.
comes out. It was hot in there. I'm pissed off. You guys are looking at me. You're gonna die. But yeah, I absolutely will not go on and on about Halloween Kills. You summed it up. One thing I would say is, like, as far as you brought up them chasing the guy, this movie was so close to being, up there on my list, like 3, 2. It was so
Right.
damn close. They just, they missed the mark on a few areas that set it back. But Michael, you said everything that I could say, and I'm also with you. You want to put it in for the scenes that are incredible. They are incredible. James Jude Courtney is incredible. Not just as far as kills, not just the firefighter scene. The scene with the couple in the house and the light bulb through her neck, and stabbing the guy with every kitchen knife in the damn place. But I love it, man. I can also watch it anytime. But they did miss the mark on a few things, which sets it back. But it was a win for me as far as, look at some of the Halloween movies we got up until, 18 and Kills, man. So
And The Mask.
it's definitely higher. The Mask is insane. The
Yes.
Mask is insane. You've got a gorgeous one right there behind
I
you.
do.
Not sure where you picked it up, but obviously
Spirit of Halloween.
Gotcha. Yeah, it sounds about right.
Oh,
So
they're doing customs now.
got it. But I'll have to check those out. But yeah.
Just
Halloween Kills, my friend. Solid Halloween movie.
No, of course I got that awesome mask from your shop, dude. And Matt, he does have a lot of customs up there, and they're just freaking phenomenal. They look great, especially Kills. Like that's my favorite. That's my favorite mask of all
It
time.
is. It
So
is really good
it's-
looking.
it's definitely, yeah.
But I'm glad you got it in your possession, Michael. Looks good.
Me
Looks
too.
Really good back there, buddy.
Me too. Well, I'm gonna put it on one day.
Hey,
You know what I mean?
Jeff.
Jeff is here saying hello, all. What's up, Jeff?
buddy? What's up, Jeff?
Good horror series, 2-sentence horror stories, and Creep Show from Shudder. I watched Creep Show from Shudder, and I really did like that. I think that I made it
agree.
through
I
2 seasons of Creep Show. I think there was a 3rd season, but I don't think that I got all the way through it. But I
Fun,
mean,
man. It was
everything
fun.
that I watched from Creep Show, yeah, the series was freaking awesome.
I agree.
James is saying Michael was really on a roll when it came to kills. Love Halloween Kills. He sure was, man. He sure was. So number 8 for you was Halloween Kills, right? I'm on number 8. And
Let me say this
what-
real quick, Michael. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It's gonna. I'll say Kills. Before Kills, if anybody said, "Hey, if Jason and Michael ever fought," I'd say most true horror fans are going to say, "Well, Jason's just too badass."
Hmm.
But then Kills comes out, and you're like, "Well, what if it's the Kills, Michael? You actually have a fight there. Like, and you have a fight there. That's how badass he was." But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
I just thought about that.
I shot him 6 times is here. What's
Great
up,
to see
man? It's good to see you, dude. Thanks for coming by, man. That's a good guy right there, man. I've been on a few streams with him. Always fun to be with him, man. He's
Right on.
freaking awesome. So number 8 for me. Now, granted, I really liked this movie when it came out. It's probably been about a year or so since I've seen it, but it doesn't mean that I don't like it a lot. Number 8, I'm going with the original Insidious. The first Insidious.
Love it.
Definitely a really good movie. Another Patrick Wilson movie. As I did The Conjuring 2 earlier. This movie, To me, this is like a tale of two movies as well. You know what I mean? It starts off, you're thinking it's one thing, and then it ends up being something else. But what it ends up being is pretty unique. You know, I think the first time I watched it, I was like, I really don't know if I like this. But as I've seen it a few more times over the years, it's like, you know what, this is definitely I'm definitely liking this one. So Patrick Wilson, the whole I thought that it was going to be like a haunting movie. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was going to be a haunted house type movie. And it ends up that he's being haunted, and through his son, he has to go beyond to save his son. And the demon, I can't remember the demon's name in that movie. You might remember it, or Justin and Kelsey will come through. I thought that was cool too. I thought that there were a lot of cool things about this movie that made it unique for me. And I did like the sequel as well. And I like how they're sticking with the continuity, throughout the story. I think they do a pretty good job of that, especially with the first and the second one. But I really like this movie, man. Russell's saying Red Demon, and that's what he is. He kind of reminded me a little bit of Darth Maul. There's my Star Wars reference for the day, Matt.
I've even heard
he did
Lipstick Demon, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah. But it was cool. You know what I mean? Like when he went in and
yeah,
he's in there and I think he's like sharpening something or something.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
His fingers that are like metal. Like
yeah. And I just thought that was a good movie. And also had Lin Shaye in it. She's awesome. She's in a lot of stuff, and it's just like, man, I really like this one.
Let me tell you this, Michael. Since it's been about a year since you've watched that, buddy, come over anytime and we'll put that in because I'm serious. I love watching Insidious.
The thing about it is
crazy rewatchability.
Yeah, it does. And the thing about it is, one of the great things about Insidious is it has been a year since I've watched it, but it's still number 8 on my list. So that'll tell you the impact that it had. You would think that it would fall off. It's like, no, Insidious is right here, bro. It's right on my shelf. You know what I mean? It's there for me to watch freaking, anytime that I can. And I can't. I love that one. Russell's agreeing and he's saying that he loves Insidious.
Russell knows what's up.
I shot him 6 times at Movies and Beyond at Mad Matt Smash. What's up, guys? Kills was a solid film for sure. James Jude is the GOAT. Michael, in my opinion, Michael would massacre Jason. Y'all saw what Fred did to him. Ha ha ha. We can have that conversation offline. I shot him 6 times. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, definitely a beast, Michael, for sure.
Yes.
The Mortuary Collection with Clancy Brown was phenomenal. I did not see that one.
Ooh, I'm not sure I have either. Okay, noted. I'll check that out.
And Kelsey and Justin are saying the lipstick face demon.
Yeah, that's actually just cool. And I've seen some masks like online, some custom mask of that demon, and they call it the lipstick demon. So yeah, very cool.
Puppet Master, The Last Reich was a bloody good time. I haven't seen that one.
All right. The Littlest Reich.
I have not seen that one.
Okay.
And Kelsey and Justin coming through with Joseph Bishara playing the demon. He did a good job. Yeah.
Nice.
Definitely did.
And there's not just the demon in there. What about that Parker Crane, dude? Creepy ass character, man. There's just, Parker Crane was
I like that one.
Awesome as well.
So, are you ready for your other segments here?
I am. So, yeah, I am. 7 for me.
You seem a little excited, man. Throwing your hands together,
7.
Getting it warmed
7
up.
for about me is
get in here.
Strangers Pray at Night.
Ah, that's a good one, man.
The second Strange. I wasn't sure if you liked that.
I love that one,
glad
dude.
to hear you say that.
I
man.
do.
But man, it was such a knockout of the park for me. Watch that one with my dad. And it's always a good time when I get to watch a horror film with my dad. And it's a sequel, so I typically never have super high hopes for a sequel. But damn, man. I'll tell you right now, The Strangers is not on my list. It's not even on my list. So that's a sequel that
Did you feel surpassed the original?
it surpassed the original, man. From the car, the truck on fire, and it starts backing up behind her when she's walking and shit. I was just like, and let's not talk about the score.
Yeah, I was about to
Oh,
say it. I was
the
going to give you another
score.
minute or so to say it.
How
I
do
guarantee. Look, it made me look at every one of those songs differently than I looked at them hearing
Right,
them before.
Right. Just like when you hear Fear the Reaper and stuff, man. I
Yeah.
go straight to Halloween, but God, the score it's up there with any horror film. It was amazing. And I like the characters, man. I like the girl. I like the brother. I thought was such a badass. His scene in the pool, fighting for his life and everything. I was so rooting for him, man.
Didn't he say something like, "I took one of yours"? You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, dude.
I-
Like,
so-
yeah, I
even
own the movie, dude. I
even
love it.
something-
Like,
even
it's
something like "How's that feel?" And he's pointing right at him. He was
Yeah.
such a badass, dude.
and not only did he do it, dude, he did it to Total Eclipse of the Heart. The song Total Eclipse of the Heart, and he's beating the shit out of this person. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
it's-
like, you got to be freaking kidding me.
yeah. It's and it's got insane, rewatchability. It's yeah, I love Strangers Pray at Night, man. And the end from the ending with him, dragging the axe, still trying to get over to him and stuff. It's just, and you feel for the family, man. She's right there watching her mom get stabbed as she's trying to get out of the house and stuff. It gets you, man. It's a movie that pulls you in, if you ask me, and that's hard to do. That's hard to do. But create characters you care about, and I mean, I'm talking watching him fight the brother fight in the pool. You would have thought I was watching SummerSlam as a 12-year-old boy. I was like all about it. But number 7, Strangers Pray at Night. Awesome.
Look, man, oh God, dude, I love that freaking movie. Now, this movie for me, unfortunately, well, you know what? We'll talk about that later, because for number 7, I am going to somewhat piggyback off you, and I am going with Prey. That's it, Prey. I'm going with Prey for number 7. I am throwing the Predator franchise into this right here, and I am going with Prey as my number 7. And I will tell you what, you guys know how I feel about Prey. When we did our Alien Predator ranking,
Man, I guess I kind of did.
Absolutely loved Prey. All right. This movie got a lot of hate. And to me, it's like, fine, hate it. You know what? It's your loss. I'll watch it extra times. You know what I mean?
Did it,
I
Michael? Did it
absolutely-
get a lot of hate?
It got a lot of hate, but it got a lot of love too. It's like people were on
That's
two
what I
sides of
thought.
the fence.
That's what I thought.
You know what I mean? It was just, you either loved or you hated. Nobody was like, "It's aight."
Sure.
You know, it was either, "Oh, it's terrible," like there's no way. And then there's other people who's like, "It's great." And I happen to be on the side of the fence to where I felt like this brought the franchise back. I felt like that franchise was just, to me, in shambles at the point. And
it
it's
was about to get real bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And Prey brought it back. The story alone, the way the character progressed, she started in one point and ended up in another. Like I said, I love the dog in that movie. The bear scene. I mean, I could just repeat all the great things that we said a couple of weeks
I
ago
liked
on
her
the other
brother.
stream.
I liked
Yeah.
her brother a lot.
Brother was freaking awesome, man. The whole thing was freaking fantastic. Like, Prey's rewatchability for me right now that's one of those movies that I can sit there and watch and then be like, "Hey, I watched this earlier today. Well, I'm watching Prey. You want to watch?" Yeah, all right, I'll sit down and watch it again. You know what I mean? It's not like, "Oh man, I just saw it like a week." No, for me, I absolutely love this movie. You know how much I like character progression. You know how much I like watching someone evolve throughout a movie. And she did that in spades. She was smart. She figured things out, not to mention the action scenes. We got some great Predator scenes. We got
And
so
she
many
did
different
it in a
perspectives.
She did it in such a realistic way. They didn't put her over the top and go cheesy with it.
No,
It was a realistic, believable transition. It was, yeah.
and it was just freaking, oh my God, I love this movie, man. Number 7, for
Right
me.
on.
I almost said Justin and Kelsey. Kelsey and Justin says Prey was freaking amazing. Russell Dorsey is saying Prey was so good. Polar Prey with a heart. The Evil Dead remake 2013 was brutal. Yes,
It was.
It was.
It was.
Definitely brutal. Kelsey and Justin are also saying a lot better than the 2018 The Predator. Oh God, yeah, there's a lot of things. And Russell is also saying, yeah, the Predator killed the cocaine bear.
Absolutely, he did. Absolutely. The bear scene is just stupid fun, man.
It is.
It's-
It is. This movie's just a ride, man, and I loved it from start to finish. And I rarely do that with movies, you know. Even though other ones on my list, I've been saying this is great, but this is great, but you know what I mean. But not this one, man.
And let's
Pray
not
for
wrap
me.
it up without talking about that, ending atmosphere where he's like growling and the neon blood's like glowing through him. Like that is
Yeah.
so beautiful. And the is it like almost like ashes that are kind of falling or what what is
Yeah.
that? But it's
Yeah,
just,
I think it's what it is.
It's a beautiful
Well,
scene.
well, not to mention they set up the final kill so well early in the movie. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, that's that area where she got stuck. You know what I mean? Like she knows
Yeah.
that. He doesn't know that.
Right.
And it was just her brain,
Right.
man. She just outsmarted him.
right.
And I mean, for a couple different aspects, she outsmarted him, and it was a great
Just like
watch.
she did the beaver.
Yeah, it was a great watch.
It
I
was.
love Prey.
And you guys know I'm a huge Predator fan, and boy did they need it. Boy did they need it.
Yeah.
Because the Predator, in my opinion, was dog shit. I was so glad to see Prey knock it out of the park. Yeah, I'm with you, Michael.
Oh yeah. All right, buddy.
I'm with you, man. So, number 6, Insidious.
Oh yeah.
You said it, man. You said it. So I don't need to say a whole lot, but the characters were just so wicked. The story,
Dude, Patrick Wilson is awesome.
and he has made his mark in horror, man. He's made his mark for sure. They put his name in it. I'm gonna watch it. They put him in there, but yeah, I don't have too much to say, Michael. You nailed it. You nailed it all right there on the head, buddy. But down to Parker Crane, to the lipstick demon, to somewhat of a twist. Just like you said, you do kind of think you kind of do start off thinking you're in for your basic haunting kind of film.
I just
But-
feel like it's a tale of two movies. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And oh gosh, here we go. Justin Kelsey, we need you again. The lady who plays shoot. You know what I'm talking about, Michael. What's her name?
it plays who?
That takes him out into the further and all that. The main lady in Insidious.
Are you talking about Lynn
It's
Shay?
like- Is that who that is? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Are
did
you
not know
talking-
her name.
She's the one that was kind of like seeing the things that, she was the older lady.
Yeah, she's the
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, that's Lynn Shay, dude.
She's
She's
the
fucking
shit.
awesome.
I'm
Yeah.
not a name person. I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that. I'm one of the worst. I don't know all the actors and actresses' names, but yeah, she is just incredible. I love everything she's done, just about, at least in the last 15 years or so. But love Insidious, incredible rewatchability. It's a fun ride, man. But yeah, you said everything about that film. That takes number 6 for me, brother.
Right. Brianna Miller, happy to finally join. Do you like any of the other sequels of Insidious over the first one? Insidious 1 is my favorite,
Nice
although
to
I
see
do
you
love
on here,
2.
Brianna.
I do love 2, but 1
As
is
well.
my favorite.
As well, I enjoyed 2. I actually thought 3 was okay. 1, knock out of the park, phenomenal. 2 is okay. 3 is, I can watch 3, but it definitely takes a back seat for sure.
And there's a new one coming out too, if I'm not mistaken. It's directed
I'm
by
down,
Patrick
man.
Wilson. Yeah.
I'm down.
I'll probably have to watch the last one again. before I see it.
It's
Kind
not,
of catch up.
It's not bad, man. It's not bad.
Definitely probably need to do that. All right, so number 6 for me. We're on number 6.
We are, buddy.
So I was having a conversation with someone a little earlier today about this movie, and the first time I saw this movie, and you laugh all you guys want, but it scared the shit out of me.
I enjoy
Okay. It was one of those movies that I was watching along with the original, back to back at night at like 1 o'clock in the morning with nothing to do.
You were
This
watching with the original?
I watched the original first and then this one.
Okay, you're
the
doing
one
back
I'm
to
about
back,
to
okay.
talk to. Yes, I back to back this with the original, and it actually had me looking around my apartment like, what's that noise? What was that? You know what I mean? This was probably roughly
That's the best.
10 years ago, and I'm going with Paranormal Activity 2. This movie, for all the things you were talking about with Terrifier, you talk about making a movie on like no budget, and then to pull like $100 million out of the theater when you
It's
spent
crazy.
like 50 grand to make this movie. You know what I mean? It was probably
Yeah.
something, that's probably
It's
not the real
crazy.
numbers. You know what I mean? But you want to talk about a profit margin on something like this, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Out of the Paranormal Activity movies, number 2 is my favorite, and there's so many scenes in this. It starts off subtle like the first one, but then shit starts to go down. You know what I mean? And
Right.
the thing that I love so much about this movie is how close of attention you have to pay to this movie, or you're gonna miss stuff. You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute, is that lamp moving over there? Like, hold on a second, was that a shadow over there as she walked by? And then she'll be sitting in the kitchen, and all of a sudden, all the shit opens up and pans are falling everywhere. And I swear to God that this movie had a great build up towards the end. And when she got drugged down into that basement, it was just nonstop from there on. Of crazy stuff happened. She's sitting there watching that baby with her legs laying back. She's got that big bite mark on her leg. Like, what the hell? Where did that come from? You know what I mean? And this movie, to me, it'll always hold a special place to me for the simple fact that it's just like, yeah, this movie kind of irked me, pretty good. In a time where we weren't really used to the found footage type movies. Of course, we had the first one, and we had Blair Witch, but they weren't huge. You know what I mean?
What year was Paranormal 2?
I want to say it was 2010. Yeah, because I think the first one was 9. I think the first one was released in 2007, but it wasn't widely released until like 2009.
Okay.
But Paranormal Activity 2 was 10. And of course, it was the prequel to the original, and you start to see cast members that were dead show up in this one. You're trying to put the time frame together, and the end all ties it up, and it's just like, wow, man. Like, I freaking love this movie. I don't watch it enough, but I will tell you that it is a strong 6 on my list. Paranormal Activity 2.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Michael. I don't hate those films. But I guess the best way to put it is I never really got on the Paranormal Activity ride. And I do believe I've seen maybe 1, 2, maybe 3. I've not seen them all.
Mm-hmm.
But buddy, I'd like to watch part 2 with you if you don't mind.
I feel
let
like
me
you'd
see
have
what
to
this
watch
is
part
about.
1. I think you'd have to
I
watch
can do
part
that.
1
That's
to
no-
really
that's no
get
problem.
part 2. But yeah, man, totally down for that.
But
Totally down for that one.
okay.
Russell is saying, I've seen all the Paranormal Activities. I don't
Okay.
know if I've seen all of them, but I know for a fact I've seen 1, 2, and 3. And I mean, I own the set. I don't know if I've watched all of them, though. Yeah.
Russell, I'm thinking you don't let a lot slip by you, buddy. I bet you've seen quite a few I love it.
Cloverfield. Yeah, that was a good one, too.
Yeah, there was
I
also
really like
Cloverfield.
Cloverfield.
I did too.
Cabin in the Woods had a terrific third act. It was definitely different. Cabin
Yes,
in
it
the
was.
Woods. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Russell said one time watch for me, but it was decent. But the second Paranormal Activity is 2011. Okay, I knew it was 2010, 2011,
Okay.
but yeah, I really like 2. Any of the other ones, I don't really, wouldn't really put them on this list, but two definitely stuck out to me.
I want
as
to check
being-
that out.
Yeah.
I want to check it out.
Jeff saying at the end of the first one, the alternate ending popped up on DVD. It ruined it for me. Oh man. Well,
And I'll tell you what, I'm a guy where, there's movies I watch the first time and I love them.
Yeah.
And there's movies that, can go on my like top list, but not until the third or fourth time I've seen them. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but I've definitely had that happen, more than once. I'll watch something. I guess it's just like maybe you don't get it. You don't really, get where they're going with it. But
yeah,
I could watch that Paranormal Activity 2 and be like, yeah, I see exactly what you're saying.
yeah.
But,
There's
yeah.
so much little subtle stuff in there. Like it was just like, like those were the things that, and it's just one of those movies that like, unless you're just sitting there really paying attention to what you're watching, you miss a lot of stuff. But Paranormal, the marked ones was pretty crazy. I don't think I saw that one. Wait, did I see that? Is that the one?
How many are there now?
If you think about it, like Brianna, if you think to answer and hear this question, was that the one where they were in like an Amish town? I think I may have seen that one. If it's that one, I could be confusing it with something else, but yeah. Jeff is saying, here's a movie that's supposed to be based on true events, and you're seeing that it wasn't. Ruined it for me. Oh man, that's the same thing with Blair Witch though too. They swore up and down that shit was real. And then after everybody,
Stay away from the alternate endings, Jeff. Just leave them be.
right.
So number 5,
Number 5.
It. 2017.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely was a knockout of the park. And this was a movie I was dying to see for the longest time because I'm a huge fan of the 1990 with Tim Curry. Big fan of that. Watched the shit out of that as a kid. And once I heard they were remaking it, man, I was just absolutely stoked and ready to rock and roll. But at the same time, I'm like, man, I love this film. Don't do me wrong. How we all are when we love something so much.
Yeah.
And just, geez, let's talk a little bit about Bill Skarsgård.
He's in the new John Wick movie, by the way.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Like, yeah, I mean, he deserved a standing ovation after I saw it, man. He killed it. He killed it. His look, his talk, his mannerisms was just incredible. And let's also not forget the kids, man. These young kids were just stupid good. It was beautifully shot. I just can't really say anything bad about this film. It gave me everything I wanted and more. It did, So, and to see something like that, like whenever they're remaking something from, especially your childhood, and you've been a horror fan your whole life, whether it's Halloween, whatever, you're invested. You want that to be a knockout of the park. You want it to, and they brought it, man. The story's great. The acting's great. Pennywise was just stupid good. I'll put him actually, this is no disrespect, but I actually enjoy his performance a little bit better than Tim Curry, and I like them both. But they're different. He also brought his own thing to it, and that's cool. When you have shoes like that to fill, you want to do it justice, but you don't want to just copy the person. You want to bring your own to it. He did exactly that. Absolutely love the film. It's got great rewatchability, and it's a long movie. And that's also hard to do when a movie's, fairly long, but love everything about it. So
yeah,
that's what number was that? That's 5.
That's 5.
So in 15 years, that's a top movie for me. It,
Oh
man,
yeah.
the original, the original from 2017,
The remake of the
the
original.
remake original, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, loved it.
Russell is saying Paranormal Activity 5 is the marked ones. Paranormal Activity Next of Kin is the Amish one. Yeah, I think, in all honesty, with Paranormal Activity, I think that I watched them up to 3, and then I was just like, I'm good. And I think I've seen 1 or 2 in between. But Kelsey and Justin are saying there are 7. Jesus, 7?
Wow, I did not
I guess,
know that. Wow.
I guess when you're spending like $100,000 to make a movie and you're making millions and millions and millions of dollars, there's probably going to be 10 of them when they're all said and done. Russell Dorsey is saying John Wick 4, can't wait for it next weekend. Yeah, I'm excited about it too. I am freaking excited. Jeff is saying I was actually surprised by the remake of It. I'm not a fan of remakes. I finally broke down and watched it, and I was very impressed. It's a good movie.
I'm glad to hear you say that, Jeff. I know you're not a fan of remakes, but it's hard to deny that one. It just is.
Allison is saying It. I loved all of them. Book is better. Had to say it.
I get that. I don't read, but that's just.
But if I did,
that's just typical, and I get it, man. The books just from what I've heard, they go so much more in depth and with the character, and no one ever says, yeah, the movie was better than the book. You never hear that.
Yeah. There's 7 of them. Well, let's go see part 8.
They're making a nice little box set here soon.
Oh yeah, if they haven't already. So number 5 for me, and this probably isn't going to be popular with a lot of people, but
I love it. I love it.
I you know what? This is another one. I'm sure Paranormal Activity. People are like, what the fuck is he doing? No, but Annabelle Comes Home for me. I really enjoyed Annabelle Comes Home because you got to see the room from The Conjuring come alive. Don't touch that. Well, they touched everything. You know what I mean? And everything went to shit. And I absolutely love the chaos. Out of all the Annabelle movies, I know the Annabelle creation is, the Annabelle movie that a lot of people love. But for me, it was Comes Home. That was the one that maybe it was because, Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga were in it. And, you got that connection with them. You kind of felt like you were a little bit in a Conjuring movie. But to me, this movie, it checked all the boxes for, it just never really had a dull moment once it got started. I had a great time with it. Annabelle Comes Home. Like, this is the Annabelle movie that makes me not want to have an Annabelle doll. You know what I mean? This is why whenever I'm at your shop, I'm pointing at Annabelle doll. Like, nah, I'm good. I don't need that in my house.
I still need an Annabelle doll, man.
But I'm telling you, like, to see all the different, things, all the different things, in the room that came alive, all the possible scenario, all the possible, scenarios that came out of, all the different characters being there. And I just had a blast with it. I really like this one. Definitely own this one. And this is definitely on my rotation of rewatches, probably about every 6 months or so, I'll pop this one in, but number 5 for me, Annabelle Comes Home.
And with that room, even as much as we saw with the true, the Warrens' room, that's just a fraction of the demons they could release from that room.
Yeah.
Man. But it was awesome, Michael. Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely had a blast with this one.
So I'll piggyback off of you a little bit.
All right.
Number 4, Annabelle Creations.
Oh shit! Look at that,
dude. I want to say I watched Creations Thursday. I mean, I love it.
Just the other day, I was watching.
I love it, dude. And not just in Creations, but let's talk the Conjuring universe in general. Where they get these child actors from, but they just are. They're stupid good. They're killer. And like I was talking earlier, they draw you in, man. They draw you in. The 2 little girls that are, the orphans, and their bond, man. You just like feel that. And then you have, I think the demon's name is Malthus.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I'm right on that, Malthus. Just so badass. And when you see his power, when the guy's holding the cross, and every finger just breaks.
And that's the thing that I remember most from that movie.
So
You know what I
good,
mean?
Michael.
Like that's
So
that's
good.
the thing that stuck in my head from that movie. Was his fingers popping back like that.
I absolutely love that film.
Yeah.
And they give you just little glimpses of Malthus, which I just absolutely love. To picking the sister up, throwing her. He just was in full go. He had. I absolutely love Creations, man. It's got stupid rewatchability for me. I can put it in any given time. It's like what I actually go to if I don't know what to watch. Like, let's do Creations, man. But love the film, man. I'm actually ready for more Annabelle. I'm not sure what angle they're going to go, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready for Conjuring. I'm ready for more Conjuring. I do not want to see this Conjuring universe ride come to a halt, man.
No, I think they're working on 4 for the
I
Conjuring,
sure
if I'm not
hope they
mistaken.
are, man. I sure hope they are.
Pretty sure they are. I read that somewhere.
I'm so ready. But out of and I like all the Annabelles, but for me, just like you were talking about Comes Home, I love Comes Home. But Creations takes the cake for me with
That's awesome.
Annabelle.
And a lot of people it does, but I just have the way that I look at things isn't always, the same. But man, it's the character alone of Annabelle is just, I love the character.
And let's not mention too that I'm naming another sequel that for me, supersedes the original. So that's pretty cool too. It's just rare to see that happen, but yeah, her character's it's just awesome. Don't with Annabelle, man. You just don't.
Polar is saying I had to take a break when watching Annabelle Creation. I don't blame you there. That shit was creepy. Kelsey and Justin, Annabelle Creation was good.
No, Justin. Peanut Butter and Jelly's good. Annabelle Creations was phenomenal.
Russell is saying yes, The Conjuring 4 is coming. I thought I read that somewhere, Russell. I think that you're freaking right about that. James is saying Annabelle, freaking creepy doll. I'd love to set that thing up in my sister Patty's hallway and freak her out. She hates dolls.
Don't give anybody a heart attack, James.
And then Brianna is saying I love the Conjuring movies. Also love the Nun spinoff as well.
On Brianna as well.
Oh man, so I guess we're on number 4 for me.
Yep.
Boy, this list went really fast, didn't it? Number 4. I'm actually going with a foreign film for number 4. Number 4 for me is Train to Busan. I freaking love this movie. Train to Busan. Even if you don't like zombie movies, this has something for everybody. This is probably the most heartfelt zombie movie I've ever seen. Like when I originally watched this, it starts off kind of slow, and I'm like, all right, I get it, and by the time it was over, man, it was just like I'm sitting there like, Jesus Christ, like why'd they have to do that? You know what I mean? Like, this movie's just a ride all the way through. And it's not like mindless killing of zombies either, and these zombies aren't like Walking Dead zombies where, you can eat a snack before this thing's going to get to you. They are coming full bore. They are running right out. They get bit. They fall on the ground. They start shaking. They jump up and they're a zombie. Like there is no, wait time. You have no load time on these zombies. Like they're getting bit. They're jumping right back up and joining the herd and running right after you. The characters in this, from the main character to the couple that was on the train with the pregnant lady and the guy protecting her. I mean, there's just so many things about this movie. The daughter in that movie, you want to talk about good child actresses? Holy shit, man. I mean, this girl's breaking my heart when she's crying at the end of this movie. You know what I mean? Like, very few and far between that, a movie will get me emotional, let alone a horror movie get me emotional. Train to Busan, man, to me, it's the best. And well, I'm going to say this, and this isn't going to be very popular either. But to me, this is the best zombie movie of all time. Train to Busan. They are making a American version of this movie called Train to New York. and I just pray that they don't destroy it. It makes me
Right.
really nervous for them to touch a movie that's so good. It's like I don't know. It makes me really nervous. I haven't heard anything about it in a while. I heard they were making it, and this is one of those movies to where I'll see it when it comes out, but it's like I don't even know if I want it. I'm afraid of what they might do to it. But then again, Train to Busan will always be there, to go back and watch. But yes, just to answer one of the questions I've seen from Russell, isn't there a sequel to Train to Busan? Yes, it's a Train to the Peninsula. I think it's called, and it is terrible. Like it has, I didn't like it anyway. It was just, oh God, this movie. Like Train to Busan, it's one of my
Right.
favorites.
It's a great time for a reminder. These are just our opinions.
Yeah.
For sure, man.
Kelsey and Justin are saying, good choice, Michael. We love that one as well. I mean, it's man.
I'll have to check that one out.
Boy, come on now. Contracted was a good zombie movie.
I don't think I've seen it. I think I started Train to Busan. I don't know if I finished it. Is it slow starting? Are they in
I'd
a
say-
subway?
I'd
waiting on a train?
no. I'd say that it's probably, it gets started about 15 minutes into the movie. They have to do a little bit of
Okay.
backstory on where it's
Michael,
at.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Yeah, you should check that one out.
I've
Like, seriously.
always strayed away from zombie films too. It was just never my thing. But man, if you got that high on your list, buddy, I will check it out. I will check
And
it out.
you guys, it's great. It does start off where you're
Dude,
kind of like, where are they going with this? You know what I
Sure.
mean? But yeah, it's
All right,
it's
man.
fantastic.
All right.
Train to Busan's on Tubi. Added to my, yeah, definitely check that one out, Polar. It's definitely a good one. Train to Busan is a very good zombie movie, but Dead Alive is the best ever made. James saying zombie movies are getting old, boring.
I do agree with you a bit there, James. But I was never on the ride to start with. But hey, man, people like their zombies, man. That's cool.
Number 3.
All right. So for me, I'm going with now. I mean, we've been talking about phenomenal movies, Michael, and that's what I love. Now they're just getting to that like ridiculously good part. The Conjuring 2, baby.
Oh, wow.
Love it. I love it. The Nun made her impact, and just down to, I really dig how, the old man, what was his name? Bill Wilkins.
My name is Bill Wilkins.
Wilkins, and again, the actors are just crazy good. The girls draw you in, and how you pretty much think the whole movie's about this Bill Wilkins, and then you realize he's just a pawn, and there's something much, much more maleficent in there in Valak.
Well, let's not forget that it starts off in Amityville.
Yes. And that's a great scene. Great scene. But yeah, it's just easy to wrap it up too. You're drawn in. You're on a ride. There's a twist that you do not see coming. It's the introduction to, as far as I'm concerned, one of the baddest ass looking demons that's come around in the last 20 years in Valak. And I just wanted more. And, we're going to get more. We got the Nun after that. They're currently working on the Nun 2. I believe they're going to knock it out of the park, but man, I absolutely love The Conjuring 2, man. And it's one I can watch over and over again. It never gets old. But especially when you have a good movie that also gives you a good twist and everything, man, what's not to love? When you don't see something coming, and with 20 minutes left in the film, it takes a big turn. I love it. And Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, they're like you mentioned. You do not just the family and the girls, you get drawn into them as well. You start to really, just like you said, you see their connection. You see the strength in their love and how has, just like you said, it's got them through these battles with these, unbelievably powerful demons. And it's just something to watch and see. So yeah, 3 for me, none 2.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, Conjuring 2. The Conjuring 2, man. Love it.
Definitely. Polar's reminding everybody, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Please hit that thumbs up, you guys. It helps out the channel so much, so Matt and I can continue giving you guys our perspective on these things and great content. Green Bean is saying, hey, Matt, Lisa, and Tom.
Oh, man. Lisa, Tom, great to see you guys on here. Great. That's some good people right there, guys. Great to see you guys on here.
Welcome, Lisa and Tom. Russell Dorsey is saying Valak is cool. Valak is
badass.
Brianna is saying Conjuring 2 was a phenomenal movie. Like you said, the child actors played the part so well. They did.
It's where do they get these kids? They're unbelievable.
Polar is saying, am I alone? Conjuring 3 was disappointing. Conjuring 3 is nowhere near on any of my lists. Yes,
no, you are not
100%.
alone, Polar. And I've probably seen it like 5 times. Like, I don't know what it is about the Conjuring stuff.
I've seen it once. I only watched it one time, and I was just like, eh.
But it is by far the weakest link.
Yeah.
Far the weakest link.
Well, it went into like witchcraft and things.
I'd almost like to see it. Say there was no Conjuring 1, 2, there was no Annabelle's, and they just had 3. The Devil Made Me Do It as a film. I think it'd probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's a weak link, man. It is.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm not a fan, unfortunately. That's why I'm looking forward to 4. Spit on Your Grave movies don't get enough love.
I enjoyed the first I Spit on Your Grave. I absolutely did. So yeah, I agree with that.
So are you curious to where I'm going with my number 3?
I am.
Yeah.
I absolutely am.
And if I tell you it's a movie that we've spoken about already today, would you be surprised?
No, I would not.
All right. I'm going with It 2017. This is going to be my number 3 on my list. I loved the original It. So I went into this,
high hopes, man.
I went into it.
Do you justice, at least.
Yeah. I mean, I went into a little skeptical. You know what I mean? It's like, hold on, you're touching something that's kind of, sacred. It's pretty, I really liked it. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. From the actors and actresses that played the kids in this, I felt they did a fantastic job. Bill Skarsgård, he did a great job, playing Pennywise. This movie is one of those movies that when I watch it, I watch the whole thing. It's not one that, hey, I'll pause this and walk away and come back. No, when I sit down and watch this one, I watch it. It's on, and I never really get bored with it. I think from all the casting, as much as it pains me to say it, I think that I like the kids in this one better than I did in the original. I think that they had a very good, they meshed well together. They actually made me care about the characters.
I can't argue that.
Yeah, Georgie at the beginning, I felt like as heartfelt as it was in the original, it was just as much in this one, if not a little more, especially, sticking with the first one, it checked all the boxes of all the things that I wanted to see in it. And it exceeded a little bit of expectations for me. Like, I felt like this, I was just like, wow, when it was over, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't have to really sit there and think like, well, did I like it? No. When I came out of there, I was like, wow, man, I can't wait to see part two. You know, it immediately wanted me to see part two right after it. So I was
I thought
definitely
the
looking
same
forward to part
thing.
two as well. You know, but it 2017. You know, I'm not just gonna rehash all the things that you've already said about it. It was good enough to be number 3 on my list. In a in a list that was very hard for me to make. Like I have 36 movies in this list, you know, that I could switch some of these out if I wanted to, because we're coming up with 10 movies in a 15-year span of great horror movies. But yeah, it 2017 is my number 3.
I love it, man. I do. I love it. So we're on number 2, baby.
We are on number 2. And then
We're
we
on-
need to get to some honorable mentions before we get to number. Well, no, let's do it after number 1 because I don't want to spoil number 1s by.
Sure, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 2, Halloween 2018.
What?
That surprises you, Michael?
No, I'm just joking.
Badass film, man. Badass film. Teresa Skarsgård is the man. I can't agree with you more. But Halloween 2018, it revived my favorite franchise of all time. You know, we had the Rob Zombies, you know, go at it. We had the Resurrection. We had we had some decent ones in between, but we didn't have a just, true contender in quite some time. And they just knocked it out of the park, man. And watching James Jude Courtney was mind blowing. Like how he got hit that walk down, you would have thought you were like, no, like that's Nick Castle. Like he just got it down so well. And it's a very distinctive walk, but not just the walk, the mannerisms, the look, the attitude he shows with, behind the mask. He was badass, man. I did get the chance to meet the man. That was all. And he's great. So Michael's my favorite horror character of all time. And for someone like him to come along and do the character justice the way he did was just so pleasing. And not just him in that, you had, Laurie's, niece. I thought she was phenomenal. I even liked her boyfriend, Cameron, Brackett, Hawkins. They were all great. They nailed their roles, man. They nailed their roles. And it was the setup coming to her house, and it was beautiful, man. It all came together. The showdown at the end was just, you were on your toes, man. And I know we've talked about it before. Like you've even said it could end right there when Michael's trapped there. The fire is set. He's just looking right at her. It's the baddest ass scene ever. Like he just doesn't even care. He's just sitting there staring at her, about to burn. It was beautiful. And then, and it was badass from the get-go, the holding out the mask, the podcaster, say something, damn it, and bringing the old school credits back, dude. You felt like you were in a true, legit Halloween movie, and that's what you got.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I could not have been more happy. So for me, number 2, Halloween 2018, it's the shit. Enough said. So
It's music to
I know
my
you-
ears, Matt.
yeah, I know
It's
you don't care
music
for the
to
film
my
very
ears.
much, but
Yeah,
I
I don't know.
to say
My number 2 is Halloween 2018 as well.
that. All right,
that-
all right. Wow.
You already know. I mean, for the extent that I've talked about this movie, the details that I've gone into, dude,
I thought it was going to be your number one. I'll be honest. I thought it was going to
as
be number one.
much as we talk about, getting Michael back, for me, I got Michael back. You know what I mean? I got
Tenfold.
the freaking shape. He was the shape, and it was just freaking beautiful, man. Like the amount of things in this movie that they did so well. Now, granted, it does have, a few things in there you could go without, but any movie really does. You're never gonna find that perfect movie. But with this one, from James Jude Courtney, to having Laurie Strode back, the original Laurie Strode, for it to be a continuation of the original. I just absolutely love just about everything about this movie. And more so, I don't have much to add on to it that we haven't either said before on this show or that you said. It's probably, it is my second favorite Halloween movie. And it's on the heels of the original for me.
Yeah.
The original will always be the original. It will always be number one for me. But man,
I
mean,
know it's hardcore on the heels
right,
for you. And
right
I
behind
get
it
that.
for me. It's right there. And when this movie came out, not to just keep retelling the same stories, but I was due, as far as for me, I hadn't had a good Halloween movie in 20 years, so when this thing came out, believe me, I was excited, I was surprised, and man, I couldn't have been happier with what I got. And it's something that I own. I think I have 3 copies of this movie, on different things. I have, and I just absolutely love it. And yeah, it was definitely hard for me to not put as number one. But yeah, it's a fantastic movie, and that is my number 2, Halloween 2018.
I love it, Michael. I love it. I love it. So
Makes me wonder if we're gonna have the same number 1 as well.
yeah. Yeah. So
You sticking with the Warrens for number 1?
I am, brother.
Yeah, me too.
The Conjuring.
Yeah, that's where it's number 1. Yeah,
The Conjuring. This film, guys. This film, before it came out, nothing for, I want to say, a decade felt like that it was original, and it also gave you that old school true horror vibe as far as I'm concerned. And when I'm in the theater watching this film, that's what I felt like. I felt like, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but it was almost like I was back in the 80s watching a classic, but that's what it gave me. It gave me that, like, horror is still alive vibe is what The Conjuring gave me. It was just so great, and such a great, now, possession movies, okay? Because, in a sense, it's a possession film. They've been hit or miss, since The Exorcist. They've just been hit or miss. And I've always thought that if you had the right, director, you had the right, screenplay writers, that you could really knock a possession movie out of the park. But I just didn't understand why there were so many that just flopped. But The Conjuring did anything but that. They actually took a possession film, and a haunted house film, and they just nailed it, man. They nailed it. The actors, the kids, the transition of the mother, slowly going, going from, possessed to fully, full blown possession was incredible. It was incredible, man. The whole Bathsheba thing, it was stupid good, and it was scary. It was scary. And let's face it, we've seen so much nowadays. It's hard to, at least for me, and I'm not saying I don't, even today, sometimes I get a little, I'm watching a horror film, but it's very rare. But sometimes I'll get a little uneasy. Conjuring did that for me.
Yeah.
Conjuring did that for me. The sheet blowing and then boom, forming the body and all that, and the guy, the figure in the window, and it was just, as far as I'm concerned, it is what horror is about. I'm going to go that far. The Conjuring is what horror is about, man. And they knocked it out of the park, brother. I won't go on and on because it's your number one as well. But that's number one thing I can say about it is it gives you that true old school horror vibe in the best way possible.
Well, I actually have two number ones that are. I couldn't help it, man.
All right.
Yeah. So Halloween Ends is my second number one. I'm just kidding. Look, James Wan knocked The Conjuring out of the park, dude. Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about going to see a movie that that I don't remember ever jumping in a theater like the first time I saw The Conjuring. You know what I mean? From the way that it starts off, for them playing the little game with them clapping their hands, you knew that was going somewhere. Of course, the trailer kind of helped you with that. But once this movie got started, and whenever I talk about The Conjuring, I bring this up. So when you watch movies like this, you usually get like, it's almost like if you're looking at a piece of paper talking about, you would get like a rise, you would get a scare, and then the movie would kind of mellow out to where they do another scare. And The Conjuring didn't do that. Like, once it got started, it was just event after event after event after event to where you're like, holy shit, I don't have any time to breathe in this movie. Like instantly, once something crazy would happen, it was already setting something else up crazy to freaking happen. Like, the scene that got me the most in that was when the little girl was sleepwalking and bumping her head into that, I don't know what that closet thing's called, right? And her sister puts her down. Yeah. And then she just sits up out of nowhere and looks up at the top of that cabinet.
Oh.
And she turns around and look, and you get that witch up there like, like that shit. The first time I saw that, you know what I mean? I'm just like, oh my God. Yes, wardrobe. Thank you. Like that, that stuck in my head for a few minutes after that scene was over. You know what I mean? Seeing that for the first time, it was just like, wow, man. And then the thing jumps off on top of her. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't scary enough to just be up there. You know what I mean? Like, no, this thing had to jump on top of her. Yeah. And the girl getting drug around by her hair, and it just, look, man, like that movie, even when Lorraine is outside and tells her like, Ed, something terrible happened here. And you see behind him those legs just like dangling. You know what I mean? Like there are so many things.
What movie had given us anything close to that?
No, and I mean seeing her daughter in the freaking in the pond out back, knowing that some shit's about to go down. They're gonna go after a kid. And then the witch is sitting in the rocking chair holding Annabelle. Are you fucking shitting me? Sorry for my language, people. But good God, man. Like that movie, look. I don't know if The Conjuring, I know for a fact The Conjuring is number one for me for the last 15 years. We might have been able to go back 25 or 30 and The Conjuring would probably sit as number one for me.
And even like, from the beginning with the knocking and the Annabelle and the girls telling the story and the knocking on the door, it was awesome. Dude.
I mean, it just starts off on a ride. You know what I mean? Like this movie, it just keeps elevating.
I might watch that when we're done here. Like, it's that good.
Yeah. Freaking kidding me. I mean, it's just, wow, man. Like, yeah, so The Conjuring for me, James Wan, man, you did the damn thing with this one. And that's always going to be, especially in this time frame, it's going to be number one for me.
And it also put me like, it put James Wan up here for me. Like anything I see his name on, I'm like, okay, I'm paying attention to this. Dude's insane. He's insane. He really is. I love it, Michael. I love
Yeah.
it. Michael, I'm gonna take a quick little restroom break, and we got some honorable mentions, I believe, too, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll
So,
go through some comments
yeah,
off the
I'll be
people.
right back, brother.
All right.
I love it.
Polar talking about the trailer. It's the only trailer that showed a full scene, and I wasn't mad because it was simply terrifying in the theater. It didn't even feel like a spoiler. You know, like that movie in general. Like the thing I remember the most about the trailer, now this is going back a few years, was the clapping. I was a little disappointed that they gave that away where she's at the top of the stairs and you see the hands come out and do the clap behind her. Because I was expecting that, when I was in the theater seeing it. But for the most part, yeah. I mean, this movie, I just have never been in a movie to where there was like no break. Like I don't really know how else to describe it, but there was really no break in this movie. It just kept going and going and going, and in the best way possible. Like it was one scare after one scare after one scare, and all the people in this movie did a great job with it. Like I don't remember seeing anybody that was just like, I could go without that person. And I mean the genuine fear. Like if you guys remember the scene where the two girls are in bed and the girl sits up talking about there being something in the corner. Like the genuine fear that kid showed, as an actress was just freaking amazing. Like I truly believed that this girl was terrified. And it's just freaking one of the scenes that I was just like, wow, man. It's freaking fantastic. When she was hanging the blankets on the clothesline, yeah, and the sheet blows away and it wraps around that person and then flies up in the air, and you can see the witch standing in the window. I mean, come on, you guys. And that was shortly before she ended up hovering over the lady and puking on her and possessing her. Like that was what a great movie. The Conjuring is the scariest out of the trilogy. I agree. I agree that it was the scariest out of. I am willing to say 100% that the original Conjuring was the scariest, not only out of the trilogy, but it was the scariest out of all of everything in the Conjuring universe. In my opinion, of course, I think that this one was the gold standard that created that for that universe to even be possible. Because if you think about it, the Annabelle spinoff came from The Conjuring. The Nun spinoff came from The Conjuring. So without The Conjuring, well, that's why they call it the Conjuring universe, right?
Right.
And Russell saying the clapping game. Yeah, the clapping game just, I mean, everything was so creative in this movie. I actually believe that we were in the time of that movie too, from the music,
Yeah.
the atmosphere. Everything was just freaking fantastic about this movie.
It's the time.
Of the season. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This is
man.
definitely a good one. All right, man. Honorable mentions.
Now I don't have
So-
75 of them like you do, but I've got a couple.
Yeah, I'm gonna just rattle them off. I'm telling you. But give me a few of them. What did you want to be on this list, but you couldn't really, get in there?
So, gosh, and like when you told me how many you have, I get it. I
Oh
get
yeah,
it, because you're.
I'm
talking
pretty sure you
15,
guys were expecting a Friday the 13th from me.
Well, you're talking 15 years. You're talking a lot of horror films, man. So, right there, you said it. That is an honorable mention. The 2009 Friday the 13th remake.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was a great Friday the 13th.
hey, it's on my list too.
I thought it was a great Friday the 13th, man. By is it the best? No, but it's a fun watch and it's solid. That's what I can say about it. It's solid. Let me give you one or two more, and I want to see some of yours. 2009, Friday the 13th for sure. I also want to say Malignant.
Okay.
I thought Malignant was the shit, and I mean that because, and I know you might, if you're saying, well, we're just talking about honorable mentions. Dude, we only did 10 films in 15 years. So as far as I'm concerned, all 10 of those movies we absolutely love, which,
Right.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
So Malignant was different. It was a fun ride, but I want to say Malignant. I want to say, the 2009 Friday remake. And let's not forget the Evil Dead remake, guys.
Yeah.
Let's not forget the Evil Dead remake. Please. It was awesome. It was awesome. They did that movie so well. They paid tribute to the original. It was badass. So, there's a couple of mine.
I mean, shit. How far do you want me to go with this? I mean, I've got
I thought you were going to say a couple, and then I'd say a couple more because I still got more. You want me to give you my whole list, or what?
Let me give you a few.
Yeah, give me a few.
Scream 4. Scream 4.
Oh yeah.
It Chapter 2. Zombieland. Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want to talk about this one a little more extensively because I love this one and I don't feel like it gets enough credit. It's a Netflix movie and it's called Hush. Hush was freaking fantastic.
Love
Hush. I wanted that on my list so bad, and it was the reason where it's like, can we do 15?
Love Hush. Was it the reason? One of the big reasons?
One of them, that and Drag Me to Hell and Zombieland. Like I
love it, man.
It's just like those are freaking, there's so many. You could talk about Hereditary. Talk about The Babadook. You know what I mean? You could talk about Brightburn. I have so many on this list.
Got a couple, I'll tell you. I want to see what you think. That I think also go under the radar. How about Veronica?
I don't think I've seen Veronica.
You need to check that out. Veronica is a hell of a film. Hell of a film. How about The Witch?
Yeah, I've seen The Witch. That was all right. I thought it was
I really got into The Witch, man. I really got into that. The Babadook, The Strangers. I've got Annabelle Comes Home as an honorable mention, for sure. Insidious 2. I was a big fan of Insidious 2. But there's, we can go on and on, man. We can go on. Cabin in the Woods. I've heard, I feel like a lot of people really dig that. And I liked it. I didn't love it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Veronica. Yeah. Fuller's seen Veronica. It's very good. It's very good. Check that one out, Michael.
I'll check it out.
It's very good. I did like The Witch. But I love hearing your guys' honorable mentions as well. I absolutely love it. We have the best crew ever, man. You guys are awesome. If I don't say it enough, you guys are awesome.
And if I don't say this tonight, I'm going to feel bad. Look, guys, Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
I forgot about that.
That's my jam right there. Look, that's Tucker and Dale
too. Yeah, they're stupid funny. College kids. Tucker
and Dale. I really liked Haunting in Connecticut. Some of these other ones, you mentioned on your list. Nope. Terrifier 2, Terrifier, Pearl, X, Candyman, The Purge. There's so many freaking good horror movies that came out in this time frame.
I definitely got down with X and Pearl for sure.
Yeah.
You introduced me to those. I had not seen those yet.
Yeah. And I still don't know which one of the two I like better.
I'm not sure. I do. I'm right there with you, Michael.
They both have, and they both came out in the same year. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I feel like they should almost just make them one. Like they are that close. Like I don't know which one I like better either. but there's so many good movies, you know, and there's some shit years, man. There's some, excuse my language, there's some dog shit years, man.
Yeah.
But I like to believe I'm a positive thinker. I think, guys, we got some really kick-ass stuff to look forward to in the future. You know, let's not forget, Michael, your boys get ready to come back, man. And dude, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I mean, it's not like I can go to
look.
the theater. You know, I can't go to the theater wearing my Jason mask like I want to. You know,
Why
it's
can't
freaking because they don't let you wear shit in theaters anymore. It sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would, but probably be like, there he is. You know, it's like,
Get him.
get him.
Get him. Oh, but yeah,
He's
man.
got a mask on.
I truly believe we got some really cool stuff to look forward to in the future. I'm ready for Nun 2. I've not
Yeah.
seen Scream 6 yet. I got to check that out. And I've gotten so many mixed reviews, which I just feed off of that. I love it.
Right.
You know, I've heard your review. I've heard a guy that could care less about it. A guy came in today and said it's the best since the original. I'm like, man, I just don't know what to think. So I got to check that out. I'm ready for Nun 2, man. Bring it on. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm so ready for Jason.
I mean, it's gonna be a little while before we get Jason, but you know, I honestly don't think it'll be this year because they haven't even started filming, you know, Camp Crystal Lake, let alone a movie. You know, so we're probably.
I'm
looking
okay
at-
with you know, kicking it off with the series. I'm okay with that. They just have to do it well, man. There's been some series that they've done really well. I enjoy the Scream series, the slasher series.
I definitely feel like Hush doesn't get the love that it deserves.
So glad you brought that up, Michael.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Hush probably 5 times. Like I dig it.
The fact that the girl is deaf makes it so much
Oh yeah,
more like creepy. You know, like he's walking behind her. And, you know, it's
dude. I
so
want to
good.
say she's that actress is. I want to say she's married to. What's the guy's name that did like Green Inferno and Hostel? What's his name?
Mm.
I want to say that's his wife, man.
Oh, really?
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know his name.
God, he's huge in the horror industry.
Justin and Kelsey, you're up.
Yeah. Yeah. Shoot. But
Polar is saying, I can't wait for Maxine. I cannot wait for Maxine either. I am super excited.
that's
about that
right. Now, do we have like a date for that? Or,
one. I have no idea.
okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one as well.
The chat's moving
Eli
so
Roth.
fast. I have a hard time.
That's his
figuring out
name.
stuff
Eli
out.
Roth.
I'm shocked they won't let you wear masks in theaters. Yeah, I'd love to. Let me tell you. Russell's asking, have you seen Scream 6, Matt?
Russell, I have not. And I need to for sure.
Hush is so suspense. It's
Yeah, it is.
really good. It's freaking really good. Your Next is another good one.
Oh. Polar, you are not kidding there. Shoot. I'm telling you, that might even have made my list. It's something I kind of forgot. Your Next is awesome. What do you think of Your Next, Michael?
I thought it was decent. I mean,
I'm a big fan. I put that above Hush, actually.
mm,
Not you?
no.
No?
No.
Yeah. Your Next was awesome,
Your Next is good, but no.
but no Hush.
No.
Okay. No.
No. No. No. Here we go. No. I wish I had that.
Let's
Loomis
not
clip.
get
I'll
into
just
the
throw
Loomis
it up there,
clip.
right there.
Let's not do
Right
this
now.
again, man. Nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah. But
Fun
I do want to
ride.
talk a little bit about next weekend, Matt, because I'm going to be recording next weekend, and I'm going to put up a nice video for everyone. based on our adventures, Movies and Beyond is taking a field trip next week. We will be going to a horror convention called Horror Hound. And it will be all next weekend. And Michael will be bringing his camera with him. So I am going to put together a nice video for you guys. And who knows, maybe we'll show up on Movies and Beyond Instagram talking about where we're at and kind of show you guys around. So if you have not subscribed to Instagram for Movies and Beyond, please do so and make sure that you get the notification when we do go live, because we will have 3 days of a horror convention. And I'm pretty sure we'll go live a few times. Maybe if we see some cool shit, we'll kind of share it with you guys.
And it's my birthday.
And it's your birthday.
That's Saturday, yeah.
It's your birthday.
So it's
probably
been great, guys.
Yeah.
It's been great.
I mean, I'm looking forward to Horror Hound. The Nun's going to be there. I think that's probably, the biggest one for me that I want to meet out of everybody there is the Nun. I mean, there's going to be a lot of cool people there, but,
I'm going to geek out over the Nun and Doug Bradley. I've never gotten a chance to meet Pinhead, dude. And yeah. So it's going to be stupid cool. So can't wait.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'll definitely be geeking out over the Nun. I'll be like, hey, it's so great to meet you. Do you want to be on Movies and Beyond? Like, we got some cool people. You want to come hang out with us? We're idiots, but it'll be a great time. I promise you'll laugh.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It'll skyrocket your career. Let me tell you.
Believe me, we will get you noticed. You know what I mean? Oh, I had such a blast tonight, you guys.
We have
but
47 subscribers. You believe that? Yeah.
but unfortunately, tonight I have to go. I have work at 4:00 in the morning tomorrow, so it is 10 o'clock here. So that means it is just about bedtime for me. But I want to thank all of you guys for coming and hanging out with us tonight. And Matt, I had a great time as always. It's like we jump on here, man. 2 hours flies by like it's 5 minutes. And it's just a blast hanging out with you and all of these great people here that hang out with us.
And I'm just going to say what I always say. You guys are awesome, man. You guys are awesome. Yeah. Subscribe, hit that like button, help us out. And I love you guys, man. This was a blast. And I can't wait for Horror Hound, man. So, yeah, we'll be back, guys. And thank you so much for joining us, man. I love it.
If you guys can, please leave a comment after we get out of here. That helps out the channel so much. You guys don't know how much that helps us, but it was great seeing all of you again. And definitely we will see you guys next time.